Good morning and welcome. It's great to see folks today. And we are recording the majority of the 9:30 calls now, which has been exciting. And everything is available on our YouTube channel, which I'll put in the chat. So if you miss a call, you can check out the recording. And then we have our follow-up folder, which is just a treasure trove of all of the slides and any of the kind of attachments or anything that folks have shared in the 9:30 call. And this week we're going to send kind of a recap of 2024 in the 9:30 call, and we'll make sure we put all the links to all the follow-up places in the follow-up email. And then a reminder that on Thursday, Commissioner Kershaw will join us with Excel Linguistics, who will be translating it live into Spanish. And we'll record both the English and the Spanish. And tonight, Strategies for Children is partnering up with SEIU 509 and Neighborhood Villages for a session on what the FY25 budget means to you. And we'll talk about kind of all the policy that got passed, in July or August, and kind of what that has felt like to folks who are working with children and families every day. So we're excited for that. We have over 200 people registered, but we'll put the link in the chat and hope you can join us. And so, Lauren, we'll turn things over to you. We're excited to have you and folks from Room to Grow. And our first question that we ask everyone who joins us is for you to tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be in your current role.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks for having us this morning, to you and the entire Strategies for Children team. And hi, everyone. My name is Lauren. I am the Executive Director of Room to Grow Boston. So a lot of my history is Room to Grow. I was born in the greater Boston area. I went to school out in Chicago. And when I was there, I got really heavily involved with animal rights organizations and some other nonprofit organizations. And when coming back home to Boston, was really wanting to focus on organizations that had an impact from the very start. So I joined Room to Grow just about 9 years ago and was our chief of staff for the last 3 years before becoming our Boston director in January of this year. So just want to also give a special thank you to Tom at Eastern Bank. I don't know if you're on this call, and Danubia from the Boston Foundation, who in my kind of relearning of Boston everything suggested that this was a great place to join just to really get a sense of the early childhood landscape in Boston. So, oh, Tom, I just saw you go on video. Hello. So shout out to
Yes,
those folks.
Tom and Danube are longtime 9:30 callers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, very happy to be here. And I've enjoyed joining for the past couple of weeks just to kind of hear what's been going on. So I'm joined by several team members here, but two team members who will be joining me and sharing a brief presentation on Room to Grow. So I don't know, Tricia, do you want to jump in and introduce yourself, and then Shelby?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Trisha. I am the manager of inventory and volunteer operations at Room to Grow. My team and I work with all of our donations of baby items. I've been with the organization for almost 10 years in some form of this role. And I'm very excited to be joining you all this morning. And Shelby?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Sure. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Shelby. I'm the manager of our family support team here. I've been at Room to Grow for about 6 years. And I'm a clinical social worker and carry a caseload of families that we see, as well as manage our whole family facing team at Room to Grow.
Thank you both. And I think, Amy, I will go ahead and share my screen if that works.
Great. Yep. And then this is part of the 9:30 call, getting the screen share going. And then I think I have your slides and we'll post them up on the folder.
Okay, great. Well, let me just figure out how to finagle this so I can see everyone too.
I know we want to write to Zoom.
Okay.
This is always the hardest. It's ridiculous.
We'll just
Oh,
share
and
about
Lauren,
Room to Grow.
I'll monitor the chat, so you don't have to worry about following that. I'll monitor that and then
Oh,
interject
great.
questions as they come.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Amy. And hopefully we're only talking for about 10 minutes and then we'll open it up to questions and everything. But just for some background on Room to Grow was founded on the belief that strong starts in childhood lead to strong outcomes in life. We were founded in New York City in 1998 by a social worker named Julie Burns. And at the time, there was a lot of information coming out about brain development and how critical those first 3 years of life are. But also, there was not really many organizations that were targeting that first 3 years of life with a really wraparound support and care. So that was the reason Room to Grow was founded, and we expanded to Boston in 2005. So we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary in Boston next year. And as we know, let's see if this will advance, the need is very great. So a lot of families are living in low income circumstances, and that is the population that Room to Grow supports. And we do this because we know that early gaps have long-term implications. One thing I like to point out on this slide is that by the end of kindergarten, low-income children can be up to 1 year behind. So we aim to support children in those critical years of life so that we can give them all the resources, them and their families that they need to thrive. I'll hand it over to Trisha and Shelby to talk a bit about what that means tactically for Room to Grow.
Yeah, so our program is a 3-year program. All of our families are referred into Room to Grow during their pregnancy. And from there, they will have visits with us at one of our family centers in Boston every 3 months from their third trimester of pregnancy until baby turns 3. We equip our families with personalized guidance and structured parenting coaching, connections to resources in the communities, and essential material goods. And in a moment, Shelby will talk specifically about how we are able to equip our families with those things. We have a 2-generation approach to our program. So we're not just focusing on the needs of baby or the needs of caregiver, but the needs of both. And each visit is split into 2-hour sections. Our families will spend the first hour with one of our team clinicians, which Shelby will talk about in just a second. And then for the second hour, they're able to go into what we call the baby boutique and shop for baby items, which includes items like clothes, toys, books, and gear and big equipment. So strollers, car seats, high chairs, pack and place potties. Shelby, I'll pass it to you.
Awesome. Yeah. So Trisha gave a great overview kind of the structure of the program, but just to dive in a little deeper, so that everyone kind of understands what that really looks like. So just kind of starting with when families apply, families all apply to our program in pregnancy. That's a really important piece of it, so that they can start the program in pregnancy. And families can apply for themselves, apply through a prenatal clinic, another community program, a friend, a cousin told them about our program. So families can come to us in many ways, but they apply in pregnancy. They begin in pregnancy at third trimester, and every visit their baby joins them at our office. We're located both in the South End and in Dorchester. And parents and child come to the visits together, really to kind of support around child development in these early years and parenting. And so the first hour that Trisha mentioned is really spent playing with baby and child, while really talking with parents about kind of how things are going for them. So we talk through how baby's developing, promoting their development, how they're eating, sleeping, parents' goals around parenting, their own personal goals, parent mental health, as well as kind of give a chance to talk through other community resources they may be needing, make those referrals as needed as well. And then all the way until that third birthday when families graduate. And then, like Trisha mentioned, they receive baby items at each of those visits as well.
Thank you. And this map also just shows a bit about where Room to Grow is and where Room to Grow families are living. So we partner with over 400 families in Boston. That number is closer to 450 right now. And those 3 homes that you see are the 3 locations that Room to Grow is operating. So right now, where I'm sitting is our family center in the South End. We are co-located with Neighbor Health, formerly the South End Community Health Center, within the Blackstone School. And then right here in Dorchester, we are within the Epiphany Early Learning Center. So we are co-located there. And then this spot that you see is where Trisha is. So this is our warehouse in Hyde Park, where we sort, store, process hundreds of thousands of baby and toddler items. I don't know, Trisha, if you can even pan your video so that everyone can see. There's shelves upon shelves of all of those items there that we process, and then they get shipped to our family centers in the South End and Dorchester, where we do see families. And this is just a spotlight of our co-location partnership with the Epiphany School. In 2018, we opened our first satellite site. So this is, while the South End is a bit larger, we consider it the hub of our operations. The Epiphany School, we're at a small satellite site where we see families, and every family who's enrolled in Epiphany's newborn class is also, so that's childcare, is also enrolled in Room to Grow's program. So it's a really wonderful partnership where we're able to provide that wraparound support to families, and our teams are able to, coordinate care and support, and we partner together on different events. There's also other co-location partners there. One of them is Neighborhood Villages. I'm not sure if, I think I saw someone from Neighborhood Villages on this call, but we're able to partner with them as well. So these are photos from our co-location at the Epiphany School in Dorchester. And then for impact and evaluation, we have a really holistic evaluation strategy. So first is case management and curriculum. Room to Grow's curriculum has been honed over many years and is really meant to hone in on different developmental stages. So at a certain point, there might be more guidance on feeding or safe sleep. And all of that also translates into what we're doing with families in the boutique. And we also track parent satisfaction, things like that. We do have research partnerships. So one being our partnership with Columbia University. We're at the end now of a randomized controlled trial with Columbia to really assess the effectiveness of Room to Grow's program. And then this third piece is around our 2-generation outcomes. So these are our externally validated assessments and screenings that we're doing with families during the visit. So I'll let Shelby talk a little bit more about what those assessments are.
Yeah, so like Lauren mentioned, there are a number of assessments that are administered during the visit. So again, like I said, each visit is with parent and child together. They're meeting one-on-one with their assigned social worker. And so some of these assessments are administered together with the family. That includes things like the ages and stages questionnaires, the ASQ and ASQSE. We administer that with the parents for the child at each birthday visit. So at age 1, 2, and 3. And that's really useful just for kind of having those developmental conversations about how baby's doing, but also sometimes leads to, discussions of further assessments, referrals to early intervention, and things of that sort. And then also just noting that we, at every visit, screen parents for, how they're doing in their mental health using the PHQ-9. And so that also can, help guide conversations around how parents are doing. Again, maybe lead to referrals in the community for things like mental health support. And then we also do some screenings where parents get to kind of self-assess how they feel like things are going around parenting, their environment. And actually, if you go to the next slide, Lauren, we can see some of those outcomes being really positive with our families. So what you see here is actually results from that parenting inventory questionnaire where parents are really kind of, they do this about I think it's 3 times throughout the program, really kind of checking in how they feel things are going for them, right? So you can see here that they feel like being, in this program throughout, right? They're really showing that they're reducing their stress, increasing their problem-solving skills, their self-efficacy skills, which is really wonderful to see for our parents. And then also for our children in the program, based on those screenings we're able to do as well, we see that 9 out of 10 of our Room to Grow children are meeting or exceeding their developmental milestones on time, which really is getting them closer to closing that gap with higher income peers. And really kind of speaks to those really in-depth developmental conversations and supports that we're providing for the families in our program. So how can you partner with Room to Grow? So one of the big ways, of course, is helping refer families to our program. Like I said, families can definitely refer themselves, or community partners can refer on behalf of families. We have a really simple online application process. It truly, truly is very, very simple. And so if you might know someone that you work with or in the community who you feel like might have that financial need for free baby and toddler items, also may be looking for some of that early childhood and parenting support. please refer those families to us. The most important thing is they do have to currently be pregnant. Like I said, all of our families do start in pregnancy. And then just also ensuring that they are looking for a long-term program. We are a 3-year program, and families do have to travel to us to our offices. So that's another big factor as well. And then the other big thing to note about our application process is that we do our best to enroll families. We can't always guarantee slots, and so the earlier families apply in their pregnancy, the better. We enroll once families reach third trimester, kind of on a rolling basis. And so the earlier families apply in pregnancy, we can try to get them in when they reach third trimester and get them started in the program.
And then one last slide here. I don't know, Trisha, do you want to jump in on this one?
Yes, there are lots of ways to support our organization. The one of them is donating baby items. We provide thousands of items to our families throughout the year, so we are always in need of new donations. They can be dropped off in person at one of our sites through our Donate by Mail program, which you can learn about on our website, or we have an Amazon wish list, which we also update regularly. We're also, like Shelby mentioned, always looking for referral partners. And if you would like to get more involved, there are lots of ways to do that, like volunteering or leadership council. But we're more than happy to provide information about any of those. So we invite you to reach out to Lauren, Shelby, or I to schedule a follow-up, and we'd love to invite you to our site for a visit.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We have a question in chat, and I guess one question before I get to that one is how do you get all the stuff? There was definitely the donations, but can you talk to your other partners? Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. Everything that we have is donated to us, largely from the community through those means that I mentioned before. We do have quite a few corporate partners. So we have an external engagement team who is reaching out to companies to provide some of those larger donations of items. That would be things like strollers, car seats, which have to be brand new, or other supplies that have to be brand new. And we also have other storage means so that we can accept larger pallets of items. So we have something called the 3PL in Philadelphia where we can accept large donations from corporations of items as well. But like I mentioned, the bulk of our items are coming in through community donations.
Right. And then Tom Weber says, RTG team, thank you so much. No, that's someone. Thank you for sharing. What are your deepening scaling goals? What partnerships support those goals?
Oh my gosh, Tom, it's as if I planned to do this question. Thank you for asking that. So, right now, a lot of what we're dealing with is increased demand, which I'm sure many people on this call, understand very viscerally. So, just in 2024 thus far, we haven't been able to enroll over 300 families because of capacity limitations. So, that's almost the size of our program. I think it's getting up to 400 families that we haven't been able to enroll. So what we're facing right now is ideally we would expand to welcome more families, enroll more families in the future, but we are currently finite in our space. So we have 3 clinical offices, 3 clinicians. There's only so much we can grow because of the baby and toddler items and the distribution that we're committing to for families. So what we're likely looking at in the next year or so is launching a campaign to secure additional space. If anyone has any ideas, leads, recommendations, any of the above, please, please, please let me know and reach out. And, our goal is to really be able to meet the need and the demand in the Boston community.
And this is a statewide call, and we already know we have some 413 and 518 on the call, so I'm sure they would be curious to know, thinking about even like expanding through Massachusetts. Thank you for the links to donate. Families are eligible no matter what area they live in, as long as they can travel to your offices for a visit, question mark.
Yeah, I can jump in on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I will say, we do want to be mindful of like how far that is, right? Because it is a lot for families to have
And
to
a
travel
commitment.
here, but we are not just you have to live in the city of Boston or anything like that. We definitely do expand to kind of the North Shore, South Shore. We have, families coming from I'd say probably maybe it's max an hour drive away. I just think the reality beyond that gets really challenging when we've had families try to. It's really hard to sustain, but we don't have like a specific cap of just kind of
The
in the city of
catchment area.
Boston.
And then do families have any opportunities to develop relationships with each other?
That is such a great question and something that we're hoping to do more of. So, we did launch a strategic plan in 2023. It's a 5-year strategic plan, and a lot of that is, deepening our impact in the regions that we're operating, expanding our national presence, and then a big piece of it too is building out our alumni program and better understanding our long-term impact. So now Room to Grow has been around overall as an organization 26 years, in Boston 20 years. So we're looking at where are those families now, and qualitatively, what is the impact of Room to Grow down the road? And we have heard a desire. We have an alumni council that we work with. We actually just had a call last week that are advisors of Room to Grow, and a lot of them have been asking for more of that. So the goal is to really, meet the need where we are right now and trying to welcome more families and enroll more families, and then ideally be able to build out our alumni work too.
And thank you for sharing. What is your language capacity?
Currently Spanish and English. We do know, or anecdotally, we know that a lot of families are also speak Haitian Creole, Cape Verdean Creole, Portuguese. We don't have capacity to primarily support in those languages yet. So Spanish and English are the two.
And then what training and support are staff given? And maybe talk a little bit about kind of the structure of the staff of the team.
Yeah, I'm happy to share a bit about the structure of the team, and then Shelby, I'll kick it over to you for training. So, as an organization, holistically, there's over 50 team members in Boston, New York, and in our kind of central organization that are like in HR functions, finance functions, things like that.
Yeah.
In Boston, we're 12. So we have Trisha manages a team of 4 that does our inventory and volunteer operations. Shelby manages a team of, let's see, 5 now. That's our family facing direct service providers. And then there is myself and Jesse, who's sitting in an office here, who you all can probably see behind me, who does a lot of our external engagement work on the ground. And then Shelby, do you want to chime in about training and support?
Yeah. Training and support, I feel like, comes in a lot of different ways. There's definitely opportunities for external training, right? Getting your own professional development, but internally, together with our New York clinical team, we have a lot of kind of internal trainings, whether it's bringing guests in to talk about specific topics, whether it's just kind of case conversations to really kind of talk among the team about how things are going, working with families. Um, Group supervision as a team. And then we do, like I think Laura mentioned earlier, we really do have a curriculum that we base kind of this work in so that we're all grounded in the same place and really kind of all talking through the same topic, sharing the same information with families. So that's a bit of an overview there.
And then Tom wonders if there's a way to marry the present overabundance of commercial real estate with room to grow's needs. For example, if a neighboring business is stuck in a long-term lease, perhaps they can donate its at a no cost, low cost, and the charitable deduction. Maybe start with your corporate partners. And then Kate Warren Barnes wonders what's the best way to contact the Boston team about partnership opportunities.
So I would say you can reach out to me directly. I will drop my email in the chat too, and I know it will also be shared in follow up just so you have it.
There was also a question about our families enrolling full time. So can you talk a little bit about that time commitment and kind of what does enrollment look like?
So enrollment looks like it's 13 visits over the course of the 3-year program. And so that's the time commitment is 2 hours every 3 months that you're in our family center. And of course, our team is also available in between those visits. So say if there's an acute circumstance going on, or even, all of our team proactively calls immediately post-birth too, to check in, see how everything's going, see how the birth went, any additional resources or support they might need. So our team is available anytime in those 3 years and beyond. We still get pictures afterwards. I know, Shelby, you get a lot of updates on first day of kindergarten, things like that. So we do hope that we can stay a part of families' lives.
And then just a little bit about the all the assessments. Like I recognize some of the names. What kinds of assessments are you using? It looked like you had a really robust, do you develop your own? And then kind of how do you use that data or share that data?
Shelby, do you want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So all of those assessments are we did not create them. I'll say that. So we use kind of already kind of like tested and
Yep,
I'm
established.
really
Yep.
losing track of my words here, but right, assessments that have already been designed by others. Um, and we use it kind of in two ways. I think one way is just kind of in that one-on-one support of families and kind of getting a sense of where they're at in those moments. But the other is really just also learning for our team because if we notice trends, we come together in some of those conversations to think about how to better support our families overall if we're noting changes in trends. We also take, I guess there's one piece that is that we created, which is just a parent satisfaction survey. So we use those
Mhm.
assessments too to continue to support our work. And so it's kind of really in both of those ways that those assessments are helpful for us.
And then finally, it sounds like a wonderful program and crucial support for ch families. What are the demographics of the families enrolling in the program? Do you find they tend to be younger families who may have a high demand for information about child development, relationships, and related topics? That's from Edna Cabral, Advocacy Network participant from cohort number 3. Thanks, Edna.
I
Or
actually have, oh,
no, go ahead.
sorry,
I had
someone
I
just.
had the wrong Advocacy Network cohort. Sorry,
Oh,
Edna.
okay. This slide, I could describe it, but this is probably the easiest way to portray it. So all of our families are living in low-income circumstances. We, certainly do have younger families in our program, but also that's not a requirement. So families might already have two children and they might, you know, could utilize the support from Room to Grow. So we're very open to all of that and whatever the family looks like. Sometimes it's a caregiver, sometimes it's one parent, two parents, an auntie, whoever it might be that is really supporting that child is welcome into the program.
Great. Well, I guess, how do you so we've been talking a lot through our early childhood agenda about this early childhood ecosystem. And so kind of where do you see yourselves there? And then how can we think about kind of building connections throughout, with other childcare folks, not just as a partner with you, but kind of how we're all kind of in this work to support children and families. Do you have any thoughts about that?
It's a great question and one I've been thinking a lot about because I feel like Room to Grow kind of is unique in that we kind of transcend several different fields and areas. So we are not a child care center, but I think
Right.
when we think about early child care and all of the needs that the family has, we can kind of help fill the gaps. So especially with the material resources, it's a $10,000 retail value over the course of the 3-year program, which is quite significant. So we're
Yeah.
providing car seats, strollers, all those items, and then also the more kind of acute child development support and parent coaching. So some things that you might not be talking to a pediatrician about or your child care provider
Right.
about. So we can kind of work within that and also try to help serve as connectors. So we have a lot of referral partners spanning a lot of different areas. So my hope is to kind of help build out this ecosystem more however we can. And we just really hope to work with you all and partner with you all and just appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. There's lots of appreciation in chat. Please keep that coming. We'll send you the chat so you can see the questions. And just thanks again to Tom and Danubia. As you know, we are always looking. We have many talent scouts out there looking for guests for the 9:30 call. We are booking now for January. It is just an incredible opportunity to have 70 plus people here to hear from Room to Go this morning. But please continue to send us topics, people, speakers that you want to hear here on the 9:30 call. We really appreciate you coming this morning. We'll send you the chat. We'll post the slides and we'll post the recording on YouTube. And tomorrow, I should not have started saying this because I can't remember who is on. Tomorrow, we will hear from, the folks from Mount Wachusett Community College, including our own Marge Mahoney's daughter, Michelle, who is working there, which will be fun. And then, as I said, the commission will join us on Thursday. So enjoy the spring-like temperatures in Massachusetts today, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Oh,
Bye,
and the night that
everyone.
we call in Spanish, thank you, is tomorrow night. Sorry, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, I promise. Okay, bye.